Good morning. Today we will be talking about writing the beat, a journalism lesson about beat reporting. Now, you might not know what beat reporting is, but you have actually been engaging in it all semester. You see, in journalism, a beat is a specific topic or subject that a journalist covers. This is called beat reporting. Does that sound familiar? It should. When this semester first started and we were working on developing our blogs, I asked for you to come up with a specific topic that you could cover throughout the school year. And you all have come up with really, really good ideas, very interesting, very unique ideas. And so you all have developed and claimed your beats. Now, beat reporting is reporting on a particular issue or subject, a specific issue or subject for a lengthy period of time. This is what our blogs are about. And many journalists cover the same beats for many years. In fact, a lot of very famous reporters are famous because of their dedication and their investment into their specific beats, into their specific topics and subjects. Now, there are a couple of pros and there are a couple of cons of beat reporting. Some of the benefits of beat reporting is that you get to build a broad knowledge of your topic and you get to become very familiar with the topic and you get to build rapport with key players. Now, what does it mean to build a rapport with key players? What could that mean? To build a rapport is to build a relationship with a person. So you and your friends have great rapport. What you want to do as a journalist is find that person, find that public relations executive or that general manager or that executive, some insider to whatever business or specialty that you want to cover, and talk with that person and let that person be your insider knowledge for any and all kinds of news. To those of you who regularly watch sports, particularly professional sports, the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so forth, you might have seen how there are some athletes who will only talk to one or two specific reporters. Or conversely, they will talk to every reporter except for one or two. That is because these reporters have built specific and strong relationships with these athletes so that they can get better and more involved discussion and more involved news and reporting done. And as you can see too on the first 2 points, building a broad knowledge of your topic and becoming very familiar with your topic, the largest benefit to being a beat reporter is that you become an expert in whatever field that you want to cover. So if you're covering Major League Baseball, you know every in and out of every player, the way that the game works, all of the rules, even the subtle rules or the not as well known rules of baseball that your average viewer isn't going to know. And because of that, you not only become an expert, but you eventually become trusted. People who read your stories know that what they are reading can be trusted and that you have verified your information and that you know what you're talking about. Because over time, you have specialized, you have become a professional in understanding the ins and outs of whatever your topic is. Again, it could be sports, it could be technology, it could be anything. Anything and everything that people decide to have beats on. If they stay truly dedicated to it, their beats will make them a respected and trusted expert in that field. Now, beat reporting is a double-edged sword, though. There are some cons. First and foremost, you might get too close to your subject, or you might get too close to your contacts. You're also running the risk of forgetting your news angle, and ultimately, all three of these points boil down to that last point. You ultimately run the risk of losing objectivity. And what that means is you might start showing favoritism for one aspect of your beat over another. For instance, to my students who are writing technology blogs, you might have begun writing a technology blog because you really like your Apple iPhone or your Samsung Galaxy. Well, the problem is if you dedicate your life's work as a journalist to covering Apple news releases, iOS releases, iPhone releases, you really run the risk of showing, how do I mean to word it? You run the risk of accidentally promoting Apple's iPhone as opposed to just reporting on it. You run the risk of saying, hey, the new iPhone is a fantastic phone, instead of just saying there is a new iPhone out. The other negative that comes with beat reporting is that, and it's exactly related to these first 2 points on the pros, is that if you become so specialized in a topic, it takes time and dedication to be specialized. It takes time and dedication to become an expert in a specific area. And because of that, you run the risk of not being able to adapt and cover a different topic as well. Now, in a larger news publication company, that might not be an issue. They might only need a sports reporter or a technology reporter or an arts and entertainment reporter. But in a lot of smaller publications, you're going to need to be able to be flexible and adapt to whatever it is that your editor needs you to be at the time. So you might be totally bought in and focused all in on political news and covering White House speeches and state Senate meetings, but then your editor might come to you and say, listen, we've got this technology reveal. We've got the new iOS 14 coming out, and we need you to go on over to the local press event that is being hosted and report on it. And if you don't know much about the new iOS reveal because you haven't been following Apple News for a couple of months, then you're going to have to play a lot of catch-up work to get caught up to where you need to be able to report successfully and effectively. Now here's a list of common journalism beats. We have agriculture, which you might know better as farming, arts and entertainment, business, crime and law, economics, education, food, politics, science, terrorism, weather. All of these are specific topics that people have specialized in and become experts in throughout the history of journalism. All of these are different beats and different topics, including weather. Did you know that the weather reporters that you see on TV, those are journalists, those are reporters, because they are telling you the news about the weather. And so, in fact, I know that we have a weather blog here in our class as well. And our reporter for that blog that is what she is making her beat. That is what she is specializing in, is on weather. So we have several different beats that you can choose from, that you can specialize in. And again, many of your blogs expand beyond these beats. Many of your blogs focus on animals or on life hacks and life skills that have been reported and that have been invented over the years. And so we are certainly expanding this list of journalism beats just within our own class. And we have a whole group of people that are becoming experts and specialists in this class. Now, really quick, these are the different ways that you need to be able to work a beat. Step one, you've got to do your research. You have to find out as much information as you can and become incredibly knowledgeable in your subject matter. You also need to know all the key players. Now, what that means is for my sports blogs, my sport bloggers, you need to be familiar with who the best of the best players are, or team managers, team coaches. For my business bloggers, anybody involving any kind of business, technology, or entertainment, or whatever the case may be, you need to know the CEO and the top executives of that business. Arts and entertainment, you need to know the most famous actors out there nowadays. You also need to be cooperative. You need your contacts more than they need you, in the sense that your contacts are the ones with the information. And so if that means finagling your schedule as you're out getting interviews to make an interview work, you need to do what you can to be on time and accommodate as best that you can so that you can get the information that you need. You want to really make sure that you have a good relationship going with any and all of your contacts, so that they are more than happy to give you any and all kind of information that you need to write a really good and a really effective news story. Next, you need to simplify your subject. You are becoming an expert in all of the fields of your blogs, but that doesn't mean that all of your readers are. Some of you have picked very, very specific and very particular blogs, and that is great, and that is amazing and perfect. But now your new task is to be able to translate all of this information, all of this technical knowledge that you have on your subject, and write it in such a way that an average Joe who has no idea how your subject is run or how your topic presents itself is meant to be. You might know all of the ins and outs and all of the little details and the finer details of a particular topic, but you need to make sure that you don't accidentally go over your readers' heads. Number 5, you need to stay in control. You get to decide if stories are newsworthy or not. You get to decide what information is going to be put into a story, what information is going to have to be let out or kept out. You have a lot of control as a journalist. And that is what's neat about beat reporting, is that you get to call the shots. And finally, you need to be able to maintain your professionalism. Again, the biggest downside to beat reporting is that you run the risk of losing your objectivity and developing a bias. And we really want to do everything that we can to avoid creating biases. And that's a skill that evolves over time, that develops over time. But that is why we have our blogs, is to be able to practice keeping our favoritism, keeping our bias in check, but still writing engaging and exciting stories. And so as you go about this weekend, as you continue working on your blog, take these steps into consideration and work to maintain that professionalism and development for your blogs. And so I hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful and safe weekend.